Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Listen, in this video segment, I'm going to be painting a plastic fender. And I want to stress the importance, anytime you paint a plastic part on your vehicle, that part is going to have a flex additive ingredient connected to it. So you're not going to be able to paint that part the same as you will the rest of the part. So you're going to have to use something similar to this flex additive for that part. It had to be painted totally separate from the rest of the vehicle. So that's what I'm going to go over. And also I'm going to go over mixing your parts, your hardener, your reducer, and your color. Actually go over that if you have any questions with that as well. All right, so the first thing we want to make sure is that all of our products match. Now, and if they do not match, make sure the paint store that you actually bought it from, if you have questions about it, just ask them and they have all the knowledge that you need. If not, they will look it up. So we're going to go with the Nason, the single stage. So if you look at the paint, this is the paint, this is the hardener, and this is the reducer. We're going to use flex additive, and of course we need a good mixing cup to actually make sure that all of this works properly. All right, so first thing you want to do, if you look here, it says 8, 1, 2. So that the 8 is going to be the color, 1 is going to be the hardener, and 2 is going to be the reducer. Now, what we're going to do, I don't really need this much paint. I'm just going to do one little section, a fender. So I want to reduce it down to 4. And then I'm going to add a half, which is the hardener. And then I'm going to add 1, which is the reducer. And the flex additive, if you don't see any instructions, most likely a flex additive is 5 to 1. So that's going to bring me up to, so anything from 5, if it's going to be at least 5, I can add one flex additive, which is going to bring it up to 6. So the way I want to add it, it's going to be 4.5, 4, half, 1. So it actually be 5.5. So when I add it, it's going to actually raise it up. When I add the flex, it's actually going to come up to 6.5. So that's what I want. So that's what we'll go with. So these are all the products that we will be using. And I like to start out with the degreaser, what I call degreaser, but it's actually a wax grease remover. And I believe in wiping this over any item I'm gonna paint. If it's a whole car, I'm gonna wipe it over the whole car. I'll put in a spray bottle and just spray it, and take a clean paper towel and lint-free paper towel, and I will just use that to wipe it clean. And this will eliminate any possibility of any fisheye that you may occur during your paint job. And I also like to use a disposable suit, and you can use, they also have not only disposable suit, but you can use a cap, disposable cap scar on your head, and the mask. We definitely need our mask. We definitely need this. Do not paint ever, never ever paint without a respiratory mask. That's a must. So this is the product that I'm going to be painting. It's a fender that goes on a truck. So anytime when I'm painting a product like this, I like to actually, if it's easier, well, it's brand new, so it's easy for me to paint it off the truck. And it may be easier for you to paint it with it on the truck. If you do so, just make sure you cover the surrounding areas pretty well. If not, paint will definitely spread, and you don't want to have to buff out your whole truck. I don't have a spray bottle, so I'm going to have to use what I got. And of course, we're going to use our product here, our wax remover. And it gets off, and I see handprint and so forth on here. So what you want to do is wipe anywhere that you may have touched with your hand. For starters, I'm going to put on my mask. Anytime when I have open paint products or reducer, you don't want to inhale none of that. So keep in mind, if I sound like I'm buffing, that's because I'm wearing a mask. So keep in mind, we're going to go by this chart here. So we're going to go with 4, half, 1. And then the flex additive, we're going to add 1, which will bring up 6.5. So we're going to go with 4 with paint. I like to use a comb with a strainer. Okay. As you see, we at 4. What you can see down there, we are actually at 4. And we're going to go with our reducer. Now, anytime you're using reducer, you actually want to make sure that you seal it back up right away. So the reducer, we're going to go with half. Right there. That's half. Our reducer, we're going to go with 1. So we already at 4.5. We're going to bring it up to 5.5. Right there. And our flex additive. We're going to go with 1. So we're already at 5.5. So we're going to go with 6.5. There we are. This is definitely needed anytime you're going to do a plastic part, because a plastic part will stretch, it'll span, and it moves along with heat. So you need the paint to move with the part. Stir it up. Now, I like to also use a strainer. I like to use the strainer when I'm actually going to put it in the cup of my paint gun. So it don't hurt to strain it as many times as you want.
first thing you want to do, you want to test out your gun on a product other than what you're going to paint to see how it's spraying. I'm not 100% happy with this. I would say I'm about 50% happy with this. I should have cleaned my gun the last time I used it. Very important after you finish using your gun to clean it. I did not, but considering what I'm going to paint, which is fender over here, I should be able to get by. And make sure when you're using your gun, when you lean it over, that it's not leaking. You do not want to leak on anything. I'm going to do a checkerboard. I'm going to go across this way, and then I'm going to go back this way, and back and forth, and that way I can be able to get all the corners and all the hideaway spots. So this is what she looked like so far, and this is with the third coat, and it's a pretty decent paint job. It could be better if I took time to actually clean my gun when I used it the last time, so shame on me. No problem. But I just want to point out one thing. If you happen to, one thing I like about single stage, if you happen to have a run, don't be alarmed. Just continue to paint, and in between coats, allow the vapors to escape for about 15 to 20 minutes before you apply the next coat, and just continue to paint. And what you can do with this, once it's dry, you finish your paint job, just wet sand that out, buff it out, and you'll never know it was there. That's going to be another video. I'm going to have one on wet sanding, and that will be, one will be on single stage and one will be on base coat clear. Okay, so now she's outside in the sun. I'm going to let her sit out here for a good little while, as long as I can. And that's the best thing for it, to help it to dry, to help that hardener to just get good and hard and dry. So this is the finished product. And like I said, I felt like it could have been better if I would took time to actually clean my gun. But hey, listen, it'll work. And if you're not truly happy with your paint job, you can always wet sand and it'll make it look that much better. But like I said, I got about 4 or 5 coats on here, good coats, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I hope this video was helpful. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.